Welcome everybody to Command Combat Battle Reports, and today we are doing a Napoleon Total War, and we have the Ottomans versus Spain. With me today are Cliff and Troy. Cliff to give us some historical perspective, and Troy to give us some perspective. And me just to give a lot of Shiite.
I will have you know, Jeff, that I have done a lot of preparation for this moment.
You have?
Yes, I have managed to finish all my beer. So,
Oh, very good. Very good. This episode brought to you by Schnapps. All right. Is it Schnapps? Is it not Schnapps? It's
Snaps.
Schnaps or Schweppes. I was thinking of Schweppes.
Oh.
Anyway, whatever. We need an Ottoman beer here because we have the Ottomans on this side. Actually, it's a huge army here. So we have three.
Yes.
What we have is three different groups. We have this group over here. Then we got this group in the middle. And then finally this one over here. So let's look at the basic setups of each one of them. And Cliff, if you wanted us to go into any of them specifically,
okay,
you let me know. But on this far right side with this hill, we got some Delhi horse.
Delhi horsemen.
Is Delhi? Okay, Delhi horseman.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sound completely mispronouncing it. Like, yes, it's the Delhi, sir. All right, 18-pounder foot artillery. If I wasn't defensive before, I became... I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a big gun. 18
Is it?
pounder. It's
All right, let's take
big gun.
yeah, the Ottomans seem to be really into big guns.
Yeah.
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 There they are. All right. Then, all right, we have a lot of infantry getting ready. The
Nizam Sidit. These guys are trained in the European fashion. They are the best the Ottomans have.
All right.
Literally the best.
And they all were wearing fezzes.
Yeah, they're now if those things would be this is not a fez. This is called the sleeve of God. That thing in the back is hollow. Is that God can reach in and put his hand on your head. Now, if it was white, they would be janissaries, mercenaries for the
All right. So they could be like puppets.
yeah, that you're being directed by God in your actions.
All right. Or he could just tickle you. They've got their commander back here. And so, in fact,
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, do you know who he is?
No,
I think it's this guy right here.
he's probably an emperor. He's not a pasha, so he is a sultan.
He's got nice gloves.
Yeah.
All right, and then, yeah, more of those, the ones you were talking about with the Hand of God Fez things on their heads. That's what I'm going to think of them as. A Silater Guard, and that's some of their cavalry.
Guard cavalrymen.
Yeah, the heavy cav, that's right there kind of in the center, and Bijik Grenadiers back here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like they've got basically all of their more well-trained. They didn't take any of the...
These are the best troops here.
Yeah.
These are the best.
Instead of getting some of the, just sort of crap troops, and like they went for quantity rather than quality. And right over here, yeah, dear. Okay, there we go. The mouse is a little bit drunk here. I'm having difficulty maneuvering it. There we go. Mounted Nazimi Credit. So this is a Nazimi Credit group over here on their far right. Over in their center, they've got a front line of
Azaris.
Azaris?
Yeah, this just means soldier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and these are like regular soldiers?
Regular soldiers, and
Oh, no guns.
yeah, they're swordsmen.
They brought a sword to a gunfight. Not a good idea. Then you got the...
Regular Zari with rifles.
so a lot of light infantry gunmen backed up by some lines of infantry. Oh, there's your regular ones.
Janissaries. These are really good troops. Janissaries.
Oh, yeah?
Janissary musketeers. These are really, really good troops.
Well,
They're all Europeans.
okay.
They're all mercenaries.
All right.
But these are from the European. These guys come from the European provinces of the Ottoman Empire.
Okay, so they've gotten the European training and all that.
Well, I wouldn't say European training. But
Oh, no.
They're quite good soldiers. Really, really good.
All right, so they put that all in the center. They got on their side, on the right side, they've got the...
They got scimitar soldiers.
Scimitar
Those
soldiers.
guys with the swords.
Yeah, that's these guys.
Yeah, you don't want to you want to shoot them down quick because you don't want to get these guys up close with your bayonet rifle. You want to wipe these guys out with
All right.
artillery.
So they got the long range guys and the short range guys, and then you got the camel gunners back here, and some more artillery. Some more, this time howitzers, little thick guns.
No, that's bad. Those are dangerous.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these guys you've been pointing out are pretty dangerous. People usually discount the Ottomans, but it sounds like they actually have some pretty good troops.
Yeah, they did.
Delhi horsemen. Did they just not know how to use them, or did they not have
sometimes it was just that a lot of the problem with the Ottomans is that these guys their commanders were appointed from the palace. And a lot of these guys who were appointed from the palace weren't that good. Okay. You find in the later years of Louis XIV's wars, a lot of people he appointed from the palace really couldn't pour piss out of a boot, let alone run. And so this is what you have. Gentlemen running armies. All hereditary monarchies have this kind of bad thing. Not a lot of professionalism in the officer corps.
Although, to be fair, sometimes it's hard to piss into a boot, let alone out of one.
Well, yeah.
So you got the
Sipahi. This is heavy cavalry. Sipahi cavalry.
All right.
They're heavy lancers.
All right, so they're back in the back for once.
And they're extremely good.
Oh yeah, all right. And then they've got Ahmed Al-Shazar. All right, and more of this. Okay, so they got their heavy cavalry back there and ready to go in, and the guard as well. So once the front has weakened them, they can go in, and then of course you have the camel gunners on their flanks. And then over here, more camel gunners.
Yep.
And it looks like they have basically the same type of troops, just sort of placed differently. Now they have their howitzers ready. They're not going to go in
mortars.
Oh, mortars. Oh, okay.
These are mortars.
All right, so the mortars are going to be ready.
And they've got a lot of them. And those are bad news if you get hit by them.
So they're basically it'd be good for these guys on this side to kind of play defense a little. I mean, they certainly have this hill here that they could play with. Yeah. And then over here, Palestinian auxiliaries.
Not good.
So these are this is the quantity group.
Yeah, these are basically civilians. This is cannon fodder right here.
Oh, okay. So they did put the cannon fodder up front and the real troops behind them. That would like a regular war. You just put up the guys who don't know what they're doing in the front to get killed, and the good troops behind them. Grenadiers, well, they can throw their grenades over the bodies of the people who die in front of them, and then 9-pounder artillery.
9-pounders.
And on the side, you got some more cavalry and the camels over there. All right, so that is your what's it called? The Ottomans.
And the bad thing about this is not a European army.
Right.
The one thing that they have heavy on is cavalry. It's very good. Unfortunately for them, if the Spaniards know how to form squares, they're completely gone.
Right. They don't have they won't really have anything. Well, let's see what the Spanish have to go up against them here. Now, once again, they're in threes, but it's harder to tell where each group ends. So it's basically, let's take a look at their overall forms here.
Cuirassiers, heavy. These are armored cavalrymen. See that? Chest plate is called a cuirass. This is your chest armor, and these are called cuirassiers, or as they call it, corsaros. And then these are heavy cavalrymen, very heavy cavalrymen. And they're in the French style with the Trojan helmet.
Okay.
And
would that make him Trojan man?
Yeah. And so they're shock troops. They're like the Panzer units. They come in hard. They have a long straight sword. Basically, it's to break bones.
Okay.
It comes down on your head, and then your back and your shoulders. But basically, they hit you hard. They take a while for them to get speed, but when they come down on you, they will knock people down. They're really tough.
And they have some artillery up there in front of them.
Horse artillery, which is good to bring with them. Horse artillery, because they can get it in, get it out, and blast an area. And
they have a lot of open space there, so they're going to be able to use that cavalry. And hussars are behind them. A lot of cavalry here. That's dragoons and hussars.
Well, the dragoons are basically these are mounted infantry, but they have rifles. They can fire from horseback, or they can get down and fire on the ground. The hussars, basically, they're light troops. They go out. They don't rush through anybody. They slash. They come in at your corners and slash, or come at the flanks, or get behind you and hit your command areas and cut it up.
All right, and then it looks like they have some infantry as well. Looks like they really packed it in here. Provincial militia, so they're
Useless.
they're there to be shot up. And then a lot of infantry over here. The Fusiliers are close to the
regular
center.
riflemen.
Yeah,
Regular riflemen. They're good at their job.
They're just the regular, and they're just Fusiliers starting to march forward. The commander is back there, Gregorio de Garcia La Cuesta.
Yeah, this is a real guy.
You got too long a name, dude.
Yeah.
Is he the one with the mustache? Kind of looks like Tom...
yeah, he's the one with the gold braid around his waist.
All right, who am I thinking? Tom Selleck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Tom Selleck. I smoke a cigar. Yeah. I talk like that.
He wasn't that great of a soldier.
No?
De La Cuesta. Not against Napoleon's forces.
Okay. Walloon Guards. They carry water balloons?
Yeah, these are Dutch guys.
Oh, all right. So they do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Walloon, Fusiliers, and... okay.
Whoa, sorry guys, I was distracted. Did you just say this was a water balloon fight?
No, it said Walloon, not balloon.
But I think these guys are going to see it as a water balloon
For
fight.
just a moment there, I thought history was actually cool.
Yeah, well... let's see, here's the provincial militia, so they're watch for them to get shot down.
Yeah, they'll run first.
Although they have top hats. I mean, why would you want to shoot down a guy who's wearing a top hat? I mean, a guy who's so dapper like this, I'm sorry, but, he just looks too fancy to be shot down today. Let's see, provincial militia. Okay, so you have a lot of infantry there that leading up to right here where, once again, you have a ton of dragoons, hussars, and
Braziers.
yeah, so they're in the back this time. 12-pounder artillery.
Good
Look
gun.
they're kind of set up like the other one. There's a lot of cavalry here on one side. Like, so it's very thick.
These guys are set up for the breakthrough.
Yep.
If there's a break, so they can make a breakthrough, they can punch right through the middle, come out and turn in any direction and cut up the rear.
Now, they're right in front of them is the woods, so they're not going to be able to use that. They're going to be cutting into the town or to the right.
They're going to have to come over the right and get the height advantage, and so they can fall on them hard.
Well, if they combine that that cavalry with the cavalry over here, this area here, those guys are really going to be toast. And that's the one with all the civilians in. You remember that?
If they hit those, they can fold them up.
Yeah, they'll fold. Although, if there are enough bodies in there, they do have the grenadier. Ottomans do have the grenadiers back there that can hit the horse, and horses don't like grenades.
No.
I've heard that from people who own horses. They said, "Jeff, put down that grenade. My horses hate them."
Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like surprises.
Yeah, and then they asked me why
Light infantry. These guys are going to be skirmishers. They're going to run up front, shoot, take pot shots at the infantry.
Well, and they're already
they'll put spikes in the ground to have the cavalry run into.
And they are already in motion. So here's 12-pounder artillery, grenadiers, and that's their heavier ones. Walloon Guards once again.
Yeah.
And 12-pounder artillery. So their artillery is right in here. Light infantry, dragoons, all their horses once again. So it's kind of like they did infantry, cavalry. They have like their cavalry section, their infantry section, because here's now their fusiliers. All the infantry all along here. Grenadiers, more infantry, and now a whole bunch of artillery together. So the Spanish have been, and they have all their cavalry over here on this side, dragoons with hussars backed up by lancers. So it's really like the Spanish have decided to do whole big sections infantry.
It's putting a lot of fire. It's giving a lot of fire to each section so they can protect their infantry and bust up the other guys.
Yeah.
Infantry, and you bust them up enough, you can get your cavalry in and push into the rear and take out their artillery.
It's interesting the different ways they're doing it too, because this one has them in columns, but over here they're more in lines. So it'll be interesting to see.
Okay, the ones in column, they're going to bust through a line. That's what they're designed for. Column is the break through a line.
Yeah, and so this is the area where you have all that, and you have all that cavalry ready. So they're probably going to try to bust through this side. That's probably going to be their strategy.
That's the center. They're going to bust right through.
Well, actually, this is their right side.
The
right side is probably going to bust through the Ottoman left.
And that's where the Palestinian auxiliaries are.
Yep. So that's going to be their strategy.
Yeah.
And then over here, we'll probably just be meeting them. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the town. What do you think is going to happen, Troy? You have any opinion? Will you put down that weasel?
I like my weasel.
Quit wiggling it.
Especially since they shaved him. He's very soft.
He is very soft, I have to admit that.
And he needs his lotion.
No, ooh.
Twice a day.
You keep that weasel away from my butt. All right, what's the weasel thinking is going to be happening next here?
Sorry, I'm focused on your butt.
Oh. Well,
there's going to be a big fight in the town. So that, that's where a lot of people.
I think the Spanish lose. There, I said it.
I've said it. So yeah,
they can easily get sucked into a fight inside the town. They'll be hand to hand and brutal inside the town.
All right, and I think that's about right. I think there will be a heavy fight here.
Stop, you're turning me on.
I think that the town is going to end up being sort of a stalemate on both sides, and I think on the far side, that's where the Ottomans will probably have the advantage. Because that's where he said they had a lot of their elite troops. The Spanish, okay, they have good troops there, but it seems like they are too concentrated. They have like all of their artillery in one place, all of their cavalry in one place, and so if the Ottomans know how to use it, they can, like against the cavalry, they'll just simply put their infantry in squares. Against their artillery, they'll send their cavalry. So it'll be interesting though. I think they'll trade places. But let's watch how it goes. And nothing happens. Oh, okay, here we go. Everybody's slowly going to start moving. For a little while here, it's just going to be a bit of everybody in motion.
This has got to be early morning because there's a lot of fog on the ground, a lot of mist on the ground.
Oh yeah. Well, either that or people had a lot of beans last night.
Then that's a very discouraging day.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the sound down real quick. I know this is sort of breaking the fourth wall here a little bit, but I just realized I hadn't done that here. Speech way down and music way... Alright. I usually try not to do that in this, but hey, you all know this is fake. Alright, here we go. Moving up the hill here. Well, now the sound effects are too quiet.
Okay, these guys running uphill.
You know what? I'm going to turn the sound a little more back up. Sorry, folks. Options, sound, it's just a little too quiet in the effects. There we go. Because we don't hear anybody. By the way, those who are watching, I'm the only person who actually hears. I'm the only one with headphones on, so everybody else is kind of totally oblivious.
What was that, Jeff?
Nothing.
I
Just
can't hear you.
I was talking to him.
I got my headphones on.
What are you listening to?
Jazz.
Jazz?
Thelonious Monk.
Oh.
Okay, the Spaniards are getting the height. If they can get the Ottomans in this valley, the Ottomans are dead. If they get caught in that valley trying to get up the hill when they've got the advantage, if they can get their artillery up there, they can pound them to pieces.
Well, over here it looks like they're getting all right, they're getting some of their rifles
snipers.
Up in front.
These guys would be good if they do this right. They can set up a nice cavalry trap in this area.
Yeah, and of course, looks like their cavalry is coming out. Let's take a look on that other side though to see because remember this is where the Spanish were going to do really well by sending out. They had a lot of their cavalry. If they run up there, yeah, I put the sound way too low. It's still too low.
Look at those Spanish horses. They're slow.
They are going in there, but the thing is, they're just sort of regrouping in the center and not really going anywhere. All right, sorry folks, I'm going to put on the sound one more time. I'm going to this is the most I've ever screwed around with the sound, but it just is too quiet. Now watch is going to go way too loud.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
It's somewhere, but I can't find it.
Yeah.
It's in the battle. All right. I hear some horns. All right, so everybody's gathering in there.
Fire.
More
okay,
cowbell.
mortars are being fired.
Yeah, there we go. There's the mortars.
Mortars
Coming
fired.
down on the. This is where the cavalry. Now this is the problem. The Spanish needed it. They had all that great cavalry, but they're not doing much with it.
They're going through the forest.
They're going through the forest. This is not a good. They're coming back. They're going to regroup with this cavalry over here. I think they want to concentrate there and then go into those Ottomans there.
Okay,
the Ottomans, meanwhile, are moving towards the center instead of staying and trying to fight. Maybe they saw all that cavalry and said, screw that, we're not going to deal with it. I mean, look at that. That is a lot of cavalry. And they got their artillery set up.
No, they're trying to push these guys off the hill. The Spaniards are concentrating on top of that hill over there, and they're trying to push them off.
All right. So they're
So
putting. Oh, they're getting ready for the town. Yes.
Cliff, I just had a very, very urgent question come to mind. When looking at the military history from this period of time, what were their curse words?
I think they're saying it right now. They put a bunch of cavalry there in the middle, and they're getting hit by more.
I mean, did they have
artillery fire.
shite? Did they have
Oh
shit?
God,
Did
yeah,
they
the
have
British, yeah, oh God, yeah, yeah, all of them had the.
bugger?
Oh yeah, that's when it.
Bloody?
Yep, bloody, bleeding.
Goddamn motherfucking son of a bitch?
Well, that's an American. That's an Americanism.
Well, see, it's another way we've made the world great.
Make the world cussier again. And once again, my mouse is giving me problems. I really should have plugged in another one, but oh well. Now,
This is.
dang, I cannot.
Like I said, here's the fight for inside the town.
Yeah, it
It's
was
getting
the
turning bloody.
this side of it. It's just on outside of it, on the Ottoman right.
Yeah.
They've all decided to come into here, and you have this light cavalry. I mean, this has become. I'm trying to think of how to narrate this, but it's hard to keep up with it. There's just so many.
It's become a fur ball.
Yeah, it really has.
And this is proving what I have been told time and time again by interior decorators. It's tough to know where to put the Ottomans.
Yeah, this is true. But
Okay.
the Ottomans apparently know where because they have the high ground, and the Spanish have come down into the valley.
And they made a mistake of running their cavalry uphill, which is the stupidest thing you could have done. They're going to run their cavalry uphill, and the Ottomans can simply walk down, and they've got those mortars pinned right, hitting them right in that clump of horsemen.
You know, on
I'm
this
with
side
you,
of it.
I'm with you most of the way there, Cliff. Although I will say the stupidest thing you can do is get involved in a land war in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This is probably true. Now, way over here on the right, the Ottomans have taken the far right flank, and it looks like they're continuing to move up. So they're going to be able to wrap around the Spanish flank.
Yep.
Spanish, meanwhile, are pushing through the center there. They do have the numbers in the center, and as we get closer to the center, closer to the town, they are continuing to have the numbers. They are not going through the town. Look how the town is basically empty of Spanish, and you do have the Ottomans go. Well, then again, scratch that. They do have some heavy cavalry going around there. That is,
They've caught them from behind,
and that's
they've
Espanolas.
And they've got grenadiers right
Yeah.
up front, which turning back to throw the grenades.
That's a really heavy Spanish cavalry. And now over here, where we expected their cavalry to do really well, they are going in there.
Bogged down against, those are probably Sipahi. There's heavy cavalry against heavy cavalry, or
Yeah.
Shakhtar guards.
Yeah. Now, what's actually happened here? This is the area. Remember, over in this section, this is where we expected the Spanish cavalry to come in and wipe them out. And the Ottomans did a smart thing, very clever thing. They just abandoned the area and came over to this area. The Spanish do control that section, but
But they can't get through it. They can't break through.
Right. Well, they control it, but they're just not. There's nothing to do with it over there. They're just basically gathered around there, and there's nothing to really defeat. And so the Ottomans instead have concentrated around the town and on this other side, and so
What they need to do is get over there and knock out those. They need to knock out those mortars and get those 18-pounders and crush them.
yeah,
Because if they don't, they're concentrating right here.
yeah,
They're putting fire right there, and the very thing that the Spanish should have let the Ottomans do, get down in that valley. They got caught in the valley,
yep.
and that's
They all got caught in the valley, and the Ottomans have really got their artillery now up on those hills, frowning down on them. So, and now you can see the Ottoman numbers, which have come from over there. They abandoned that area where the heavy Spanish cavalry was, came over to this section, and now they're just going to push through.
and they're using grape shot too.
Yeah, they got grape shot on the hill coming down. I mean, there's still a lot of numbers. Those Spanish have a large number of numbers, but they did have a lot of militia, and so you got the elite of the Ottoman infantry against the militia of the. Although you have a commander exposed there, I wonder if the Ottomans see that.
Well, there's an Ottoman commander right up there too.
All right, so maybe they can just have a mano-a-mano battle here,
So they're trying to rally their troops, give them.
get them to stay in the fight.
Yeah,
And I can see some Ottomans way over there on the side.
yeah, these are horsemen too. and they can go after and there's no one protecting that artillery.
Oh, which artillery? Which one are you talking
The
about?
Spanish artillery.
Oh, yeah, way back there. If they can get back in that... right now, I don't think they can get through. But if they can get back there...
They can get
there,
through. They can come up...
Oh, they are right. They're right here. Yeah, you're right. They have a big opening back there. They can...
All they have to do is walk their horses over.
No, they are walking.
And they're
That's the
walking
problem. They're really strolling. Look at that. They're on parade. Like, yep. We don't know there's a battle going on. So now some of the Ottomans are losing heart and they're starting to pull back.
Yeah, they're losing ground here.
That's actually kind of bad for the Ottomans because this is the entire battle. I mean, there is nothing over here. This is basically by abandoning it, they have isolated all that Spanish infantry.
Now the Spanish are coming through the city.
Yeah, now they're coming through the city, realizing the battle's over here.
Yeah.
The Ottomans have to finish them off over here before they get the rest of that.
This is why the weather is so important, because these guys, the reason why they didn't move over there is probably they couldn't see.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the smoke is up. They can't see what's going on, but now maybe the wind has shifted. They see one of your generals has been killed.
Yes, one of the
The Allied general has been killed.
one of the Ottoman generals there.
The Spaniards. Who?
No.
Which side were you on?
Was I on? This battle's happening right now. Why? What do you ever mean? It was an Allied general, but I happen to be Ottoman, so I guess that was that. By the way, here's the big map.
Okay.
I was going to analyze this, but it's more confusing up here, I think, even than looking at the rest of it. So,
But once it says on the right, the Ottomans have the advantage. On the left, they are fully overwhelmed.
yeah.
And they're fully overwhelmed, and they're losing men. They're losing men left and right. They still have a lot of numbers, but those numbers are too far out and not concentrated enough to do any real damage.
And seeing down here, it looks like the Ottomans are starting to get surrounded.
Yeah,
So the Spanish,
the Spanish
numbers
are hitting them. Yeah, now a Spanish general's been killed.
Yeah, there goes the enemy general, Spanish general there. I mean, just a Spanish general. And then, now it looks like the Ottomans are trying to, basically doing what Custer did, and of course Custer's a good example to follow. They are making a stand on this hill, basically trying to defend as well as they can on this flank.
Yeah, but they don't have their troops concentrated in the right proportions, and they're not using. The thing is, they're not using terrain to their advantage. And see, there's their mistake.
Because that was the mistake the Spanish made. They didn't really. They went too far up into their.
They went too far, and they came down too early.
Right, but now they've actually that's sort of in a way paid off for them because now they're up forward, and the Ottomans are kind of on their heels.
And they put their cavalry right in the middle, which is they were hoping to break through, and the cavalry's bogged down.
Yeah, the cavalry, we were right, because that's where they had their major amount of cavalry was way over here. They now still have some of their infantry, which is taking, well, I guess their cavalry's come over, but their infantry's slowly moving over here. You can see way back there that the mortar is still trying to throw bombs out at them. That's a long-range mortar.
Yeah.
But man, it's just like Spanish, so many places I can't even see where they are. I mean, the center... I bet the left flank Ottomans are just completely gone. That was the one with a lot of the civilians.
Yeah.
The center one is just scattered throughout the town. Towns are going to do that to you. Buildings are going to do that to you. All that's left was the right side one, the one that had all the elite troops.
Yeah.
And they're just backed up to the hill. So it looks like the Spanish might win. What do you think of that, Troy?
Fake news.
It's all fake.
Another Ottoman general has been killed.
Another Ottoman general is gone.
This is not good for the Ottomans.
They're just kind of holding out as best they can on their hill.
Without their generals, they cannot rally their troops.
Yeah, that's Ottoman Hill there. But you do see a couple of them. You do see
He's
cavalry
back there
running.
by himself, going after the artillery.
Yep. There he is. You can see it sparking behind there. And oh wow, all that's left over here is the Ottoman general.
And he's about to be deaded.
Yeah, and so all you have left is the Ottoman.
And he's gone.
Yeah, and there he goes. So now all that's left is one of the three Ottoman groups, and the Spanish still have all three of theirs. And now there's.
No, they lost one.
Did they lose one? Okay, well, one general, but it looks like they have most of the troops from the three different. Whereas I think the Ottomans actually lost not only the other two generals, but like the entire units.
Yeah, they've lost a third of their forces.
Yeah, it seems like 2/3 even.
Oh yeah, which one is the Ottomans? The blue?
The red. That's these guys.
Okay.
Right here.
No, on the big map.
On the big map. You know, it's hard to say. I think they're the blue. Yeah, I think that's it. So you can see they have artillery here Here we can see this. They still have these two pieces of
Okay,
artillery.
they're in trouble.
And
They're in serious trouble.
Yeah, all they have left up here are just the people on the hill.
They've lost the center, and they're on the. If the Spanish can pull together a little bit more, and take that flank where those mortars are, they'll have them.
Yeah, well, they certainly will have those two mortars. They just kind of abandoned those two mortars. I think they just figured that the mortars don't have the range.
Well, they're so long range. You know, the center of the battle. If you even took them out, you're way from the battlefield.
Yeah, they're so far away. So I think they just abandoned them because look, they're way over on the other side of the battlefield. So all that really matters is this side, and it's all come down to just this hill. And the Ottomans basically have this line of infantry, and then the rifles. This little bit of infantry is all that's guarding this artillery here that's shooting grape shot down at them.
Yeah.
Spanish are trying to come up this hill while meanwhile moving around their flank, and I saw some cavalry going around, but the Ottomans are trying to protect with their heavy cavalry. And indeed, the Spanish have got there with their light cavalry.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to take that heavy cavalry? It looks like the Ottomans are not even seeing them. They're just kind of sneaking up there.
It's the fog. They don't see them.
Yeah, the artillery's seeing them and shooting at them, but the cavalry is just kind of sitting there. All right, so it's now just coming down to this.
Yeah, it's the bad thing about the one thing bad about the computers. They fight dumb. They're fighting dumb because when you have one of these type of battles, a big battle like this, the best thing is to go on the defensive, especially if you're in the hills. You can get your guns up high, and you can lay fire on them, and let them do all the work, and come to you, and then pour fire on them. And when they start wavering, then you attack. But this way, it looked like both sides rushed at each other, and which is
that's usually when you wind up getting. Now, actually, you can see the Ottomans have pushed forward a little bit. Some of the infantry was able to push down into the valley and have hit the Spanish on the flanks, and the commander tried to rally them, but now ended up getting wounded and killed. It looks like perhaps killed.
He's about to get killed.
Who is that? Oh, he's still there. Oh, Francisco Costini. Well, he's retreating now. He's not been killed, but he's retreating, and he's retreating with his troops. So their front force has now been pushed away, and now they still have their flanking force, but it's no longer a flanking force because they don't have their front, and the rest of the infantry just seems to be getting slowed down by that town. And now the cavalry that was coming around has been seen by the heavy cavalry, by the Ottoman heavy cavalry. It's being pushed away.
And they're going to be chopped to pieces.
The tide is beginning to turn. Now the Spanish did send some troops out there to get rid of that artillery back there. But now that they're off the front line, which is causing the...
they've lost, and they're about to lose another commander.
Yeah, which has given the Ottomans a chance to start having a comeback. They're coming up, and the Ottomans are weak here. They don't have their grenadiers in place, so they're going to...
And they don't form squares, because if they'd have formed a square, that general would be dead by now.
Yeah. Well, although the general is not... Okay, he's going back to... He's sort of scouted in there, saw what's up there. You can see the grape shot still firing down at the Spanish, and now the general's going to go back to his troops, and they're forming a big line. They're going to make one big push on these Ottomans. They do have the numbers on them, but what kind of troops are there? Fusiliers?
Yeah, these are regulars.
Okay, regulars, pulling militia.
The only thing you can do with provincial militia is if they can gather a chance to fire the flank and then fix bayonets and charge. Right,
and they'll be dumb enough to charge at them. Sometimes you need the inexperienced people to charge because the experienced ones know, hey, I don't want to do that. Yeah. But now, here you got more Spanish infantry is coming in. I mean, the Ottomans did a valiant job.
Spanish general is dead.
Another Spanish general. What do you call it? The Ottomans are doing a respectable job of defending. However, can they continue to hold out against this Spanish?
If the Spanish are the red,
Oh no, the Spanish are white here.
No.
Oh, up here, yeah.
If the Spanish are in the red, they're losing.
You can see, a lot of them are starting to really go shaking there.
They had the advantage momentarily, and they lost it.
They lost it, yeah. They did not. They should have gone in when they did. I think they were trying to get themselves prepared to really go in from every angle. But now, in so doing, they lost their front, and now they only have one side.
They tried to be strong everywhere.
Yeah.
And they were weak everywhere.
Right.
And
you can see there's some fighting going down in these woods, and in fact, it's winding up being a lot of wood fighting now.
Yeah. There's no cohesion in the battle, and this is what's called a sergeant's battle. Generals are absolutely doing no good here. It's just the sergeants and the squad leaders fighting their troops.
Yeah, the generals have done their jobs. They're essentially they set something up to they set up the plan to take that hill, and now it's up to the Spanish to take it and the Ottomans to hold it, and now they're getting their grenadiers into place, and you're going to have a line of grenadiers and infantrymen.
Spaniards are being surrounded.
Yeah, are they being surrounded? I don't see. Actually, they have the artillery here. It looks like it's still just a Spanish line. Oh no, here, back here, I didn't even see this. Infantry is pushed forward. You're right, and they're coming up behind them, and it's becoming a little bit enveloped.
They're losing men as we speak.
Yeah, they are, and I mean they still have some back here, but these have really kind of been.
They're completely outnumbered. They
you know what? They're just like you said. They lost cohesion. They're kind of all over the place, so they're not really pulling in their numbers.
And no one's in command, so they're fighting individual battles by themselves.
Right. And you know what? I think what they were doing is they're chasing, because you remember that the Ottomans had some cavalry was running around out here. I think that's what they were doing, is they were chasing after them.
They're using carcass shots, so they're poisoning in the air.
Oh, okay. Is that what happens? So people end up choking? Is that kind of like a gas attack?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's what that is. Huh. So now that's causing them to slow up and... Again,
look at all those Spaniards just pile up right there in the...
Up here?
Right here. Look really down.
Oh, yeah.
Piled up right there.
This was like when the initial attack, when they moved in the beginning, and it was just that. Because remember, it was right to this side of the town. That's where the main part of the attack was. And this is just, wow. This was where a lot of that killing happened, and a lot of that fighting. Now they're trying to regroup there, and they're chasing after this one group of cavalry. I think that's what really screwed up a lot of the Spanish, is they chased after all of these small targets and took for granted that this hill was going to be taken. But now you can see the hill is almost completely cleared. This is what the Spanish almost had, and they just lost it.
I told you that Lacuesta was a terrible general.
Well, he is showing his merit right now of just how bad he is. And although they are beating up on some light cavalry, but that's a short-lived victory, because you do have more of... Okay, here we go. In fact, you have the heavy cavalry. They're going to have to go around these spikes, but they're slowly following up some Spanish who are retreating. And now the hill doesn't even matter anymore. It's been cleared out. Oh, I guess some of the Spanish are...
The Ottomans have taken control, and now it's just a mopping up operation.
It is mopping up. However, there is something to be considered. Is you look at the numbers, and yeah, they have numbers, but the Spanish still have a few numbers here.
Not going to do them any good.
Not going to do enough?
Late.
Oh, yeah, you do have the heavy cavalry, although they're being kind of stupid. They're going through... Oh, they managed to make it through the spikes. They're coming around behind, and you're going to have the Ottomans swinging around here in the front, and the heavy cav coming in behind. Who else is left, even? I guess you have some of them back there. It's like you say, it's mopping up because the Spanish are kind of scattered all over the place here.
Yep.
All right.
It's just they've got...
Let's zoom ahead.
6 units that are still active.
Yeah. Now the reason that their sound has gone off from the battle is I'm zooming ahead here, because at this point it does look like it's just a matter of now the Ottomans have kind of lined up kind of poorly. There you go. They got to get themselves lined up correctly, and they're going to bring some light cavalry back, and the heavy cavalry is coming up behind them, so they're going to just mop up this area here.
Yep.
They can't form square at this point. And then over here, what's left of these guys? Oh, there's still just a few of them gathered in those woods there. All right, and some more in those woods.
These guys, the Spanish fought dumb. They fought really dumb.
And I guess Troy was right. You said you called it against the Spanish.
You know, I have to admit, I looked at the History Channel and I kind of figured out what was going to happen.
Did the History Channel say that the Ottomans were going to come back? Or did...
All right, fine. You caught me in a lie, I guess.
or what I figured is maybe if it was History Channel, they had just told you that aliens were going to come in and save the day.
Well, that's actually with the Prussians.
Oh, Prussians have the aliens on their side.
Versus the Nazis. That's
Wait, Prussians versus the Nazis?
different timeline.
I cannot...
Morty.
What?
Morty.
I don't know, Rick. These timelines just confuse me so much.
Morty.
What?
Would you kill baby Hitler?
Yeah.
You would?
Would I kill him? Well, I don't know, Rick. You got to think about these things, man. I mean, it's a baby, and it's how.
Morty.
Yeah.
You know what the difference between you and me is?
What?
I have killed baby Hitler 17 times in different universes.
Oh my God, Rick! I mean, it's just really.
Morty, it's not that big of a deal.
It's just you
Morty,
killed Hitler.
You had a twin brother.
Yeah, twin brother.
You never knew that, did you?
You
had a twin brother.
Actually, I kind of haven't seen him.
He's your great-great-great-grandfather.
Now, Rick, you're just really making me mad.
Morty.
And I might what? I might have to protest against you.
God, I hate you.
Rick Sanchez as a commander. I guess he would have been a Spanish commander, though. He would have done a bit better than the Spanish commander here.
Oh my God, this guy was horrible.
Oh well, although they are pushing the Ottomans back onto this hill, it's going to turn into another, hill battle. The Ottomans are having to get back. Oh, although now apparently the shots from God are coming down.
Yeah.
Who are they shooting at? Oh, there we go. There's some grenadiers over here. So it's actually turned back into a little bit of a fight here because now, once again, look at this. This looks pretty familiar, huh? It's pretty familiar, isn't it, Rick?
Yeah, but they only got 4 units there. Now it's 3.
Let's see, 1, 2... Oh, yeah, all right, against 1, 2, 3, 4... Well, against 4 Ottomans and then... well, no, is that...
They've got 1 green unit, 2 in the red. One just they lost 1 right there.
Yeah. Oh, and there comes the heavy cavalry behind them.
Yep.
So, yeah. They have a pretty long line there, just sort of sitting there waiting. Well, come on, guys. Is you ready to shoot? Okay, there we go. Alright, well, they're going to just sort of go on a little march around there. And artillery shots keep... Oh, here we go. And the cavalry comes in to mop up one of the other units. And you get to see them in action. Stabby, stabby. The ones on the camp...
So they're going to be spit on.
Yeah, that's the worst. It's like, it's one thing to be killed by somebody, but then to be...
I have a camel spit on you.
Man, I hate when that happens. That just ruins my day. And that is it. That does it for us. Well, I hope you enjoyed this battle. We always enjoy having these narrations. Don't we, everybody?
Yay.
Be sure to subscribe and see other weirdo videos.
I killed baby Hitler.
Happy gaming, everybody.